Hello and welcome back. Today I present the biggest project I've done so far. The Thunderhawk, if you could not tell. But it's not just any Thunderhawk. It's going to be the Lion's personal whip, his personal transport vehicle. I had this printed by a friend and it is very well built. The material he used is not the standard resin, but a mixture of something that is way stronger. As you can see, it came in a bunch of pieces, not as much as the OG box set. I'm using E6000 glue to glue on most of the pieces here. For the smaller bits, I use super glue, but I don't really show that. Now, like most prints, I did have to sand some of the edges because after dry fitting some of the parts, they didn't fit exactly. They were a little more snug than they should have been, but that's totally fine. So I did a bunch of sanding. And then the absolute size of this model is insane. I didn't realize it was so big. But yeah, so enjoy the little build montage here. After I got the main wings on, I tried doing the upper X-wings. What I tried to do with that was drill holes for magnets. That way I can interchange them whenever I wanted to be lowered or raised. But as I was screwing into the wings themselves, the magnets just didn't hold, and it was just too tight to fit, no matter how much sanding I did. So they're glued permanently in place. And there you can see I glued the two halves together. This was done finished. It is like 1.5 feet long and maybe 8 inches in height with the feet. And these little bits, I assume these are for like other airplanes. Like if you're trying to slow down, you put these out and it catches the wind. So it just helps you slow down. I don't really know what they're called. And that's it, right there, inside angle. So I primed the ship in Hunter Green, just normal spray paint I got from Lowe's, because doing that in Caliban Green would take a lot of bottles. And once that was done, I followed the normal recipe I do from all of my Dark Angels. I dry brushed layers of Warpstone Glow and then Moot Green. And just like anything else, Leadbelcher for all the silver details, which includes the engines, the Top Gun barrel, and then the little vent details spread throughout the ship. And Khorn Red for all the side guns. So there's 4 up front. Well, these 2 are double guns, and then the double guns under each wing. So this next part took me a long time to figure out. I was thinking to myself, how can I make this thing look even more awesome than it normally does? So easily, just add stripes. So I added some model tape to help keep the lines straight, and I used Mephiston Red to add the details. Now this went on each wing on the back, and then this little front one here. And while that dried, I used Morghast Bone to represent the Death Wing. You can see they are done. I should have got a better angle of them all dried up. But onto the gold details. I did the smaller details on the engines, as well as the cockpit cover. I think the gold definitely helps the engines pop more. Definitely brings out more of the details instead of just a plain silver. And for the tail, I was trying to figure out how to implement this as well, because I wanted the Dark Angel wing logo on the back there instead for actual wings, but wasn't very good at freehanding, so I just did the basic logo wing. Now the base was another task I had to hand make. In the tournament rules, there is no actual base size. It states it is a unique base size, meaning, at least to me, there's no actual size in millimeters or inches. So I purchased this wooden circle from Hobby Lobby and a 24-inch acrylic rod that I cut down to roughly 14 inches. And if you watched any of my previous videos, you'll notice a familiar face. I'm using a bunch of these hero box sets from Target to give the base more of a theme. I figured why not, because they're just going to sit around collecting dust on the shelves. Now, future me, I go through 2 of these acrylic rods, because every time I would cut it down to size, I would drill a hole to prep it for the screw. The acrylic would either melt onto the screw, which would cause it to just stop, or it would shatter in 2. Thankfully, I have 2 sides of the acrylic rod, so I would try one side and then do the other, but they both snapped. So I spread this air dry clay that I also got from Hobby Lobby, and after that, I press the singular models into it, that way they can dry in place as well. If you're wondering where that little wall came from, it's from the starter kit. The Space Marines versus Tyranid. And for each one of these singular models, you can notice me spreading the clay over the edges. That just helps it make them look more part of the piece instead of just planted on top. I included a warped jump pack orc boy, just to give it some more pizzazz. And then I use this cheap acrylic brown paint, just went to town. Easy to spread, cheap, looks nice, and not breaking the bank for a base. Spread this all over the clay, along with the bases of each individual model. And once that dried, about a day, my same recipe, just use some Elmer's glue, spread that around, and spread out my grass, my leaves, and pebbles onto the base. I didn't do too much of this because I still want it to look more like a battlefield that was ensuing. Also, if you ever worked with grass basing, if you don't glue on top of it, it just gets everywhere. It comes off the base so easily. And this is the base, all done. I still gotta do black on the edge there, at the bottom. But I like it a lot so far, honestly. The edges of the clay did come out a little. And there it is, all done. I'm still trying to figure out different methods to get the golden line set on both sides without hand painting it, because that would just look horrible and not symmetrical. But this was a fun project. I had so much fun building it, and I cannot wait to start the next big project. Hint, it's a very tall walker. And there it is on top of the base. Thanks for watching.